Morning. You join us out bassing. That is deeper than I thought it was going to be. We're just edging our way out to some bass marks. It is absolutely gorgeous out here this morning.
Not bad, huh?
There are definitely worse places to be. There's a bit of a shingle bank that we're heading towards. Just walked over some mud, which is quite hard work in wading boots with no tread on them. But we are about to reach terra firma and fingers crossed find a few bass. I've got my Lunamis with a Pachinko 100 on it. Rory's got much the same with a
only one way to go.
Pachinko 100. It's super low tide at the moment, so we're making our way to the water. Seen some birds working already. Plan is to do a few hours on the shore, see what the clarity's like, and then this is a lot deeper than either of us thought. We might get stuck, but if we don't, we then might try and jump on the boat and go and see if we can find a few more. So come with us, but when it looks like this, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Game on.
Let's go! Right, that didn't quite pan out. We found loads and loads of baitfish, a biblical amount of mullet, but just not a single bass amongst them. Probably the tide is a bit late, maybe an hour after when we would have wanted if we were to match it up with sunrise and all of those things, but shouldn't really be an excuse. There are so many baitfish, so many small mullet, and we just haven't seen one predation the whole time we're down here. So we're going to walk back to the car in our lovely breathable waders, and go and see if we can get coffee, get some breakfast, go find the boat, take it back to the slip, launch it. Just saying it out loud is making me feel tired. But we'll give it a go anyway. Speak to you in a bit. Right, there we go. That was relatively painless. Boat's picked up. We're on the water. There's Rory behind me. We know a few marks, so let's go out for a float. Clarity's not ideal, but got to be in it to win it. Right, so we've got the topwaters on. We've just seen some birds working, and on the boat, obviously you can just follow the birds. So we found some here. We're hoping we're going to find some more further down. Intermittently, there are bass hitting whitebait and stuff on the surface. So I'm just going to have a little cast and see if I can show you how aggressive these fish can be when you actually find them. A big shoal of whitebait here, and there's a lot of bass. Even when they're not actively hitting the bait on the surface, there's just a lot of them in the area. So working in top water can be a really effective way to fire them up. And as you can see, all I'm doing with this Pachinko is just tapping the rod tip. There's a bite behind my, there you go. Tapping the rod tip, just keeping that retrieve nice and steady. It's not a big fish. But just keeping that Pachinko working from left to right, and when you start to see fish coming up behind the lure, the trick is to just keep going and let them come and take the actual lure. Obviously that's the smallest bass in the world, but you get the idea. So after that, it became quite apparent that most of the bass that we were finding were pretty small, and we couldn't get through to the bigger fish, apart from Rory, who managed to pick up this lovely fish on a metal, which he then proceeded to lose, which was great. And then we decided to move on and see if we can find some bigger fish elsewhere. As you can see, Rory was really pleased about it.
Yep. Come on, mate. Come on.
As you can see it, I mean, this isn't a big fish, but it's just slow rolling it around the corner of that structure. Almost like you're Ned fishing, just rolling it on the bottom, feeling those contours, trying not to get snagged. And as soon as his tide started moving, started finding a few more bass, which is great. And there is the first half decent bass of the day. So now we've found potentially where they are. Maybe we'll be able to get some on camera, but that was just kind of soft rolling a soft plastic. I'm just going to get this one back. Just soft rolling a soft plastic round the corner as we came just round the corner of a bit of structure. Nice deep bit of water, a bit of tidal movement, and bang. So let's go see if we can find another. Yeah!
Oh, that was lovely. Just coming around the corner of that deep water. As you can see, that's not a huge bass, but he's absolutely smoked the fish below there. And it was lovely because it was exactly where we thought they would be. And there they are, so let's get it back. Let's get out of another fish.
Right, we have finished the session in the best way possible, to be fair.
Cheers.
Cheers to that. That was an interesting day.
Yeah.
It was amazingly beautiful this morning. Looked really, really bassy.
But utterly devoid.
Completely devoid. Loads and loads and loads of mullet. And to be honest, if we stuck it out for an hour through the tide, we might have picked up a couple of fish, would you say?
Maybe.
Potentially. If they followed those fry up.
But I would have been absolutely certain of catching fish before that.
Yeah.
So who knows what would have happened, really.
Yeah, it was a weird one. And then we're getting a wasp attacking us. We then switched over to the boat, which is obviously a nice luxury to have. And you know, we're probably only out for 2 hours up and 3 hours down, and have ended up having a brilliant day. We chased the birds around where we thought they'd be over some bladderwrack. The conditions just weren't quite right. It was a little bit murky and not great. But it was good in the end, wasn't it, once we found the birds?
Yeah, it really was. It changed the game completely, because it was actually, up until then, it was like, my God.
Yeah.
Well, there's one spot which is always good to have one of these in your locker, that whenever times are tough, the conditions are tough out there, that bit of structure that the fish quite often produces the goods.
Yeah.
And it did again today. And
Yeah.
it was a big relief to have that one up our sleeve, wasn't it? You know?
It can just be one of those places. It's, you know, it's an amazing piece of water, but if they're not where you think they're going to be, they could be anywhere. It's massive. And you know, so you've got to look at, same as we've done in other sessions, you've got to look for diving birds, same as you would on the shore, but that piece of structure does allow a little bit of a pinch point for those bass, and I think that's probably why they move in there.
Usually a better fish, one or two better fish knocking about there.
Yeah.
I mean, we caught quite a lot of small fish today, and you know, a lot of it probably not worth showing. We're not out there to beat up on micro bass, so we were really trying to get away from them to find the bigger fish. There were only a few, but it was nice to get
it was
Nice to get one or two that were okay.
Some good bites, some good fights. Nice to be back out on the boat. I absolutely love that smart wave. It is a brilliant little thing. And looking forward to getting out again. You know, at the end of the day, that's the way that bass fishing is. Sometimes it's difficult on the shore if you're not on the fish. The difference between the boat and the shore is that you can just get yourself onto the fish. You know, if we were shore fishing within the area that we were fishing this afternoon on the boat, we probably would have, if we were lucky, we would have found the first set of birds and caught a few fish, but they were that little bit further offshore, and then we chased another set of fish and another set of fish, which would have just been impossible on the shore. So the boat does kind of change the game. And we didn't ground out. The tide was flying out. We managed to get the boat back onto the trailer. Now we're having a pint. We'll be back with another video soon. Thanks for joining me again, Rory.
My pleasure, mate.
And we'll see you in a bit.
Everyone.
Cheers.